ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the all-inclusive story time with Aladin at the amazing Rose Hill Community Centre, promoting the best in health, well-being and partnership and community vitality. Your story today will be The Foolish Man. Once upon a time, there lived a foolish man, and all he ever did was criticize, complain, and condemn, and moan about everything. He moaned about not having a purpose in life. He moaned about not appreciating the beautiful things in life. He moaned about not having enough friends. He also moaned about his bills. He had lots of bills, which he just hid away. He moaned about the state of his health and well-being. He hardly exercised. He ate very bad. He ate fast foods all the time. He moaned and moaned and moaned, but he couldn't consider that it was because of his own damn fault, his own fault. But one day, this man had a few group of friends who really were concerned about his health and well-being. So they got together with him and said, look, you need to see the wise old lady who lives upon the top of the hill. He agreed because he realized that he needed help. It came to a point in his life, he said, I've got to do something about this. I do need help. So now I am going to go off and see the wise old lady. Well, he put his rucksack on and he started to head up the top of the hill. Now, after a few 100 yards or a few meters, he met up with a wolf. Now, this wolf was lying on the floor. It was a large, rather large wolf. Its coat was matted. Its teeth were wobbly. He looked in a terrible state, this wolf. And the wolf said to the foolish man, "Where are you going, sir?" The foolish man said, "Hey, I'm off to see the wise old lady who lives on the top of the hill. Because all I ever do is criticize, complain, and moan about everything in life. I don't seem to have a purpose in life. I don't even appreciate the wonderful, beautiful things that are around me. And my friendships, I don't seem to have much friends. And I'm in total, horrible debt. I have no financial freedom. I feel so unhealthy. I don't feel well. So I'm going to see the wise old lady, and hopefully she will be able to help me." And the wolf said, "Well, please, can you help me? Can you ask the wise old lady if she can give me some advice? Because I'm not feeling too well in myself as well." The wise old lady will give you the answers, I'm sure," says the foolish man. So the foolish man heads up to the top of the hill to see the wise old lady. Well, about halfway, he meets a broken down tree. And the tree looks at the foolish man and says, "Hello, sir, where are you off to?" And the foolish man said, "I'm off to see the wise old lady because I don't seem to have a purpose in life, and life is so, horrible and stressful. I need some advice on how to cope with this difficult situation." And the tree said, "Well, good luck with that. I hope you get cured when you visit the wise old lady. But please," said the tree, "can you help me? Can you ask the wise old lady why my leaves are so dry and why my bark is full of mildew and fungus and I feel so unwell? Please ask her if she can help me." The foolish man said, "Yes, no problem. I shall speak to the wise old lady." And he heads off and says goodbye to the broken down tree. Well, a few miles on, near the top of the hill, the foolish man meets a beautiful lady sitting down, relaxing, reading a book, but looking rather sad. And the foolish man says, "Hello, I'm off to see the wise old lady, because I'm sure she can help me with all my troubles." And the pretty lady says, "Well, I feel so lonely. Can you ask the wise old lady if she can help me? I feel so lonely and bored. Please ask if she can help me." So the foolish man says, "No problem," and heads off to see the wise old lady. Well, after about 20 minutes of climbing the steep hill, he comes to a house and he sees this lady in the garden with her watering can, singing merrily away. And he knocks on the gate and says, "Hello, I've come to see the wise old lady, which I think is you." And she said, "Yes, I am the wise old lady, and I have been expecting you, Mr. Foolish Man. So, what can I do for you?" And the foolish man explained to her that he feels so sad in life, he doesn't seem to have a purpose, he cannot appreciate anything, and he's in debt, and he's not looking after his health and wealth, and he doesn't feel very good about himself. The wise old lady moved the fringe from her forehead and said, "I can tell you your problems, foolish man. It is quite simple. And that is, you know what is right, but you do what is wrong. You know it's important to have a purpose in life, don't you? But you don't. You know it's important. Positive emotions come about when you are in pursuit of a worthwhile goal. You know that, but you don't have a purpose. You know you ought to have an attitude of gratitude because out there are so much wonderful things in the world. You have the birds and the bees and the flowers. You know about all these things, but you do not have an attitude of gratitude. You know that friendship is important, but yet you spend most of your time on your own and moping in your cave. You need to have your friends again so you can share the highs and the lows of life. You also know that you have to have financial freedom. You have to pay your bills. Haven't you heard of the expression, Vini, Vedi, Vici, Visha? I didn't say visa, Visha. You know you have to pay your bills rather than ignore them. Also, your health. You know you need to look after your health. You know you ought to do 3 hours of daily exercise every single week, but you do not do 3 hours of gentle exercise. You spend most of your time just moaning and complaining and playing on your computer consoles or your, what are those phones called? iPhones. You know that, but you do not do that. You know what is right, but you do what is wrong. Also, you need time, quiet contemplation time where you can be on your own and focus. But no, you run around like a blue bottom fly or a toothless chicken. You need quiet contemplation in your life. Now go along and put those things into practice, and then you will have a happier life. The foolish man says, "Thank you, thank you, oh gracious, oh wise old lady. Now run along, I've got things to do." So the foolish man runs along and heads off home. To put the wonderful things into practice. However, as he's coming down the hill, he meets the beautiful lady again. Oh. The beautiful lady again. He meets a beautiful lady again. Whoops. And she says to him, where are you going? He says, I'm off home to put the wonderful things into practice. Did you ask about me? What can she do for me? I feel so lonely and so sad. He said, yes, the foolish man. He said, what you need is a companion. You need somebody you can share your life with. Maybe you can get a boyfriend or a girlfriend or marry. And she says, that makes a lot of sense. And she looks at him, the foolish man. She looks at him with a very loving look and says to the foolish man, will you marry me? Well, the foolish man says, well, I don't think so. I've got to get off home. I've got to rush off home. You see, I've got to sort out my life and find my purpose. Yes. Bye. Amazing. So the foolish man continues on his journey, and halfway down the hill, he meets a broken down tree. And he explains to the broken down tree that he's going to find his purpose, go home and find his purpose, and then he'll be cured of his sadness. And the tree says, well, did you find out what could the old lady, the wise old lady, do for me, since I feel so weak and my leaves are dry and my bark is got full of mildew and fungus? Did you find out for me? Please say yes. He said, yes. What happened many years ago with you? You are basically thirsty. You need water and fluids and minerals from the soil to make you strong again. But the problem is this. About 100 years ago, some pirates buried treasure. And the treasure is what's blocking your roots. So no water can come into your roots. And that's why you are looking all old and shriveled and dried and full of fungus. Well, the tree said, well, why don't you remove the treasure and have the treasure? And therefore you'll be debt-free and I'll be a healthy tree again. No, said the foolish man. I've got to go. I've got to find my purpose. Thank you anyway. By the way, good luck. And he rushes off home. In a direction of home, in fact. But before he reaches home, he comes across the wolf laying on the floor. And he rushes by and says, hello, wolf, how are you? I'm going home to find my purpose, to sort out my life. Oh, at last I've got some wisdom from the wise old lady. And the wolf says, lying down, did you find out what the wise old lady can do for me since I feel so weak? My fur is all matted, my tooth is dropping out, I feel so weak. He said, yes, of course I found out. What has happened to you is that you haven't eaten for months. You've been on a long-term fast. You haven't eaten for months. What you need to do, you need to find the next fool and gobble him up. And then you'll be fit and strong again. Well, the wolf slowly rises up and goes over to the fool and opens his mouth and said, yes, I have to find the next fool to eat. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you can guess, and boys and girls, I'm sure you can guess what happened next. But thank you for listening to Aladin Story Time. Best wishes and have a nice day. Bye-bye.